Once upon a time there was a long blue river. A few meters away from the riverbank was a very tall rock face full of jaggy rocks. Closer to the river was a small pond full of lily pads and reeds. The valley was inhabited by a myriad of different animals, frogs by the pond, and field mice close by, each of them trying to live in harmony. Although they always didn't get on, they did strive to make the area habitable for everyone. Some animals mixed well with others. The mice and the frogs who shared the pond were always laughing and joking and trying to make their living space better for everyone. But they weren't the only ones to inhabit the area. Up upon the rocks was a nest of scorpions who spent all day looking at the frogs and mice. They saw how well the other animals got on and concluded that they were being excluded unfairly. One day, the leader of the scorpions was on the rock face looking down at the other animals, thinking gloomy thoughts. He let his eyes rise up to the summit of a much bigger jaggy rock face on the other side of the riverbank, which basked in the sun all day. That's perfect, and just what we need, he thought. The next day, he wandered down to the riverbank and said to the frogs, "Hi, how are you? I'm Scorpio from up on that jaggedy rock there." Now the frogs had heard about the scorpions having great power, but in the past using their power to hurt the other animals. They turned to the scorpion and wearily said, "Fine, thanks. What brings you down here?" The scorpion, noticing the frog's hesitation, said, "Look, guys, I realise that you may have heard about the scorpions and that we had behaved badly in the past, but that was a long time ago, and we are not like that at all now. We are completely changed. We're not like we used to be." At that moment, a mouse poked his head out the hole and whispered to the frogs, "Don't trust them. They haven't changed. They never will. If you trust them, then they will betray you at the first chance they get." The scorpion was annoyed at this. I said, "That's not true at all. We've done nothing but help this valley by keeping all the predators away. Besides, we need to trust each other and work together to help this valley become the best valley it can be." The frogs were skeptical about the scorpions, but they heard the pleadings of the Scorpion King that they really did want to work together with everyone to make things better. They expressed that they had never attacked anyone since they changed. The frogs said, "We want to make the valley better too, so we can agree on that." "Fantastic," said the scorpion. Before explaining, "Now, the first thing I would like you guys to help me with is helping me move my nest from the current rock face to that big jaggy rock face over there on the other side of the river in the sunshine." The frogs asked, "How does this make things better for everyone? It sounds as if it just makes things better for you." So the scorpion spent 3 days telling whimsical tales and expressing a real commitment to the other animals of the valley, encouraging the need for trust and pointing out that the mice were not really being team players by casting doubt on them. The frogs talked it over and asked for some security to provide some safeguard against the scorpions breaking their word. "Whatever do you mean?" said the scorpion. "Didn't you eat all those locusts that we chased down from the rock face towards the river a few months back? Or the apples last spring that fell off the tree into the pond to feed those fishes?" The mice whispered to the frogs, "They weren't helping. They were looking for a new place to nest, and the apples were just in the way. And as for the locusts, they just flew down. They may have chased a few down the rock face, but most of them landed near the pond anyway." The scorpion scowled and reiterated again the need for trust, and that they should take the scorpion's representations at face value. The scorpion said, "All I need for you to do is let me ride on your back across the river to the other side, and that's it. It's no big deal." The frogs were still unsure whether to trust this powerful scorpion, And the scorpion, noticing this again, said, "Look, I can reassure you that you have nothing to worry about. It's me that you are going to be taking across the river. And I'm willing to work with you guys. So why are you worried? Why won't you trust me?" The scorpion was annoyed at the other animals for not instantly agreeing to his plan. He spoke for an hour about the scorpions being high up and having the best view of the valley and knowing what the best action to take for the valley was. The frogs said to the scorpion, "Well, I'm worried that you might stab me in the back and sting me when we are crossing." "That won't happen," said the scorpion. "I've told you, I'm different now. And besides, why on earth would I sting you? Because if I sting you, then you're going to die and I'm going to drown too. So why would I ever do that? It makes no sense whatsoever." The scorpion criticised the mouse for their scepticism and expressed that they have done all they can to convince the other animals of the valley. And the real problem in this valley is that the frogs and the mice aren't prepared to trust them. The frogs and mice looked at each other and said, "I guess we do need to try and trust. And I suppose we should have a little faith and try and work together to make this place a better valley." And besides, the scorpion has made some good points to try and move things forward. "Exactly," said the scorpion. "So why can't we start working together right now? Can we?" "I suppose so," said the frog. So the scorpion and the frog made their way to the big blue river. "Hop on," said the frog. And the scorpion clickety-clacked his way onto the frog's back. And as the frog made his way across the river, splishy-splashy, getting halfway, the scorpion stood up suddenly and plunged his sting into the back of the frog. The frog flipped around to the scorpion, who were both struggling in the water now. "Ow! You absolute idiot! You've stung me. You've stabbed me in the back. You've killed me. Now we're both going to drown too." "Why on earth would you do a stupid thing?" said the frog. The scorpion, trying to keep his head above water, said, "Well, there aren't any rules that say I couldn't sting you. And besides, I'm a scorpion. I sting people. That's what I do." And after a few seconds, they both dropped below the waterline and sunk to their deaths. The frogs on the shoreline were furious. "You traitorous bastards," they shouted. "You hurt us, and for what? What have you accomplished? Absolutely nothing." The other scorpions looked at the situation, at the frogs and the mice, and said, "Well, in fairness, he is a scorpion, and it is in his nature to sting people. It's all part of the game." The frogs and mice were furious. And the following day, another scorpion from the nest came down and said, "Look, let's just draw a line under that unpleasantness. After all, we have all agreed to try and make this valley better, and I'm prepared to work with you to make this valley better." The frogs looked at him in bewilderness and a little disgust, saying, "You misled us about this. You planned to sting us all along. And this is an awful thing that you have done." The scorpion shrugged his shoulders and said, "Well, I suppose we have different views," said the scorpion. "That's just human nature," he expressed. The following day, the scorpion came down from the rock face and said, "Guys, there is a big snake in the valley. We've seen it. And he's going to kill us all, because after he's eaten us, he's going to eat you too. You know how much he likes frogs and mice. We have to work together to make this valley better." The mice and the frogs looked at each other and said, "Yeah, we know. We've seen that snake. It's pretty dangerous, yeah. He could kill us all." The scorpion, relieved by their answer, said, "Phew, So you agree we have to get rid of this snake. It's for the good of the valley. It's for the good of all of us. So you'll help us do it? The frog looked at the scorpions who had come down from the rock face to seek assistance and said, "Fuck no. Are you joking? You can fuck off." The scorpions, angered by this response, said, "Don't be fools. You need to help us." The frogs and the mice said, "You've got some nerve coming down here and asking for help after what you did, or to betray that your actions are for anyone other than yourself. You know that we have worked together well, ourselves and the mice. We have helped each other, and it's you that's acted immorally, if not illegally. But we're not the arseholes. So if you give us 5 minutes to discuss the issue, put our heads together, then we'll see if we can come up with some plan, advice or perspective." The scorpions reluctantly moved away and anxiously watched the discussion take place between the mice and the frogs. It only took a couple of minutes. The animals broke from their huddle and waved the scorpions over. They looked at the scorpion, who looked eager and hopeful that the valley would come together to help them. The frog stepped forward and said, "We've discussed the matter, and we agree that this snake is a big, big problem. This would need a solid plan and an animal capable of killing the snake that can be rallied behind." "Okay, that's great," said the scorpion. "What's the plan?" The frog said, "Well, it's a very simple plan, and it applies to this exact situation, and it's one that you should all adopt and adhere to at all costs going forward." Come on, don't drag it out. What is this wonderful plan?" The frog sighed and said, "Next time, don't skin the fucking cat." The scorpions were outraged by this comment and were extremely abusive to the mice and the frogs, who rolled around laughing, which only enraged the scorpions further. "What the hell are you laughing at?" the scorpions snapped. The frogs, trying to gain their composure but failing for bursts of laughter, said, "We're the fuckers that invited him. Look, here he comes now. Bet you wish you kept that fucking cat." The snake surrounded the scorpion and said, "Have you any last words?" The scorpion, taken back with surprise and fear, was lost for words. The snake said, "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?" chuckling to himself as he made his timely joke. "Sorry, is it too soon?" The scorpion turned as he heard a pattering of splashes into the river, causing the scorpion to look towards the water. He saw those mice riding on the backs of those frogs across the water to the other side, laughing, joking and waving. "Where are you going?" he shouted. The frog turned and said, "We're going over to the other side, where we found a lovely pond with lilies and reeds and no scorpions, no snakes, and definitely no fucking cats." The end.